All right, here we go. 7 minutes max. It's series 2, episode 25. I can't believe, I say this a lot, but I can't believe it's taken this long to get my man Johnny Casino on all the way from Spain. Unbelievable.
7 minutes max. I've got songs that go for 9 or 10 minutes. How can we do this in 7 minutes max?
I know, 7 minutes max. And
it's one of the great complaints that I have from many, I don't know, it sounds pompous saying fans, but people who enjoy my music are like, Johnny, you've always got a couple of songs that just seem to go forever. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm trying to, paint this picture or give you a good description of what's going on. And sometimes it takes me a long time. You know what I mean?
Mate, you're a storyteller and you're a poet. And I was saying to you before we press record how honoured we are that Golden Robot is helping you and in control in a way of the legacy on digital and the new CD coming out and et cetera, et cetera. So we're honoured to have you on there. I mean, I've known you since the Iron Duke days, 1997, when you'd play there up on stage and rip it apart. They were always my favourite nights when Asteroid played. And we've known each other a long time. So now to be involved with you, to put your music out is fantastic. And your legacy is I know you're a humble man, but your legacy is pretty unbelievable. There's a lot of people in Australia and around the world that absolutely dig your music, no doubt.
Well, all I can say is that I appreciate, like all the, the help that I've got from you and the guys who work with you there at Golden Robot. In the short time that we've been working together, I've found it I've not necessarily had a long career or whatever you want to call it in music, but more than 30 years. And I've certainly dealt with a fair share of record labels and companies that I'm almost certain they don't even know that you're signed to the label sometimes. You call them up and they're like, who? Which band? So it's been an eye-opener to me to have people listen to you when you say something and do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. So, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. It goes both ways. So thank you. All right. So to business here. Let's have a bit of fun. So 7 minutes max. I'm going to put the timer on. I'm going to ask you 7 random questions and you will do your best to answer those in 7 minutes. And look, I have to thank you straight off for not having a guitar in your hand, because most people seem to want to hide behind their guitar when they're doing this with me. So I appreciate it. All right.
My wife would tell me that I have the guitar in my hands more often than I should. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do this. All right. Time starts now. All right. Tell me the wildest thing you've ever done in a hotel room.
Very cliche things when I was much younger. It wasn't necessarily me, but there was a throwing of a TV out of a window, which is very cliche, coming from the Keith Richards School of Rock and Roll. Someone, and it wasn't me, someone put toilet paper in the water recess of the shower, turned the hot water on and opened up the window, so all this steam and smoke was coming out of and water was going everywhere, and the fire department was called.
Where was that? Australia or overseas?
Those two things were in Australia.
Is that sort of why you're living in Spain now?
Could be.
You've got to get away.
I mean, the worst that happened was that we didn't get paid. That was about the worst that happened. So
well, that wouldn't have been the first time.
No, that's right.
All right. Okay. You've done well. You've done well. All right. Question 2. What and where has been your favourite fast food experience?
Oof. Fast food. Fast food can be fast and bad, but good, depending on what time of night it is.
Tell me your worst fast food experience.
The worst. No, I forget the bad stuff. I kind of remember the good things.
Tell me the best
I lived
burger.
in Philadelphia for a few years, so the good fast food late at night with things like cheesesteaks or
Philly cheesesteak.
Being in New York and getting a slice of pizza at 4 o'clock in the morning for $1, or you know, curbside hot dogs from a vending thing, you know, again for $1. I mean, living in Australia, the late night fast food that I remember was things like Fatima's on Cleveland Street, you know what I mean? For great Lebanese food, or Sare on Enmore Road for late night stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, I reckon these are pretty decent. I'm not much of a kebab guy, have it all over my face and down the front of a nice shirt that I might be wearing type of guy. So I like to try to keep it together, yeah?
It's interesting you say that, because I remember you on stage in those days, and my memory's shit with the best of times, but I do remember you up there with your guitar, and a lot of time you had a white shirt on.
Could have, yeah.
You liked the shirt though. You were always in the shirt.
Yeah, I am. I do enjoy, you know what I mean? I'm a big fucking guy, so it's hard for, I got to do extra groundwork to find nice clothes for me. But I do like nice clothes. I'm not a fancy guy or anything like that, but I do like sort of nice clothes.
Yeah, nice. Okay, all right, I love that. And by the way, I go to Fatima's, and the other place, Shiraz, you said on Enmore Road, what it was called? The one in Enmore Road?
Sare's.
Sare's. They have the best vine leaves ever.
The vine leaves at Sare's, the grandmother makes them, or she used to. I lived in Sydney 5 years ago. They got a little bit of chili in them or something like that. They're unbeatable.
Unbeatable. I went there the other day, and I reckon I bought 12, and I reckon they were gone in fucking 3 minutes.
Yeah, they don't last too long when I'm around either.
Oh, mate. They're always sold out. So when you get them, I know, totally on the same page. All right. Question 3. If you knew the lotto numbers and you had to share it with 3 people, who would they be? For a 20 million US lotto, you had to share it with 3 people.
Share it with 3 people. I'd share it with my sister, because she's a battler and she deserves it.
Yeah.
But I'm allowed to keep some myself, right?
Absolutely.
I'm one of those 3, right?
Yeah, you're one of the 3. You can decide. It's 20 million US. So how much is your sister getting, and how much are the other 2 people getting, and how much are you keeping?
I give my sister 10.
Wow.
Because I know that she wouldn't blow it all, and it'd be there if I ever needed it. If I went through my 5, who do I give the other 5 to?
So you're keeping 5 and giving your sister 10?
Yeah, because I know what I'll do with it. Okay. Even with my wife's supervision, I know what will happen. You know what I mean? Like, no, I can't keep 10 or even 15. I'm giving my sister 10 because I know that when I've got burned through my 5, she'll have another 5 or 7 or 8 there waiting for me.
That's great. I love that.
5, I'm not sure who I give the other 5 to. I've got too many mates that are degenerate gamblers. So like, I know where their 5 would go the same place my 5 might go. Yeah. That or guitars or some other ridiculous stuff that I really don't need. So.
All right. I love it. Okay. All right. I love that. And I love the fact your sister gets more than you. That's very cool. All right. Question 4. You're doing all right. You're about 5 minutes. Okay. And you don't have to name names, because I've had people not name names, but you can sort of give scenarios. Who is the best person you've met? Actually, let me rephrase it. Who is the best and worst person that you've met, but you were looking forward to meeting them? They were like an idol of yours. Who's an idol that you've met was the best, and who's an idol that you've met that's just been a fucking disappointment?
Okay, when I was living in Philadelphia, at the very last minute, we were playing in the band Johnny Casino's Easy Action, and we got asked to play at the very last minute a concert with Michael Bruce from the original Alice Cooper band, the original songwriter and one of the guitar players from the Alice Cooper band. And the original Alice Cooper band, like records like Pretty's for You and Love It to Death and $1 Billion Babies.
$1 Billion Baby, yeah.
I love that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I was sort of, that was my introduction to rock and roll. It wasn't mainstream, you know what I mean, when I was a teenager. Anyway, we got asked to support Michael Bruce, and for me this was really important, and So we got there for sound check, and I'm lugging, you know what I mean, my old Ampeg amp up the stairs and putting it on the stage. And he comes past and he's looking at me and he's coming towards me, and I'm starting to get a bit nervous. And I'm like, fuck, okay, what do I say? You know what I mean? And he goes, hey, I used to have one of them amps, and you're crazy, man. You don't need that shit no more. And all you need is one of these little digital samplers. And you know what I mean? Like, it weighs less than a notepad. You know what I mean? Like, why do you want to lug that thing all the way up the stairs? And I was like, I was heartbroken, because for me, it's not just the songs and, you know, an image that may come with those songs. It's the sound.
Yeah.
And the sound is very important. And for him to say that to me, it kind of like broke my heart a little bit. And then when he played, it was diabolically bad, and I was heartbroken at the same time. But at the very same venue, we were asked to support John Entwistle from The Who when he was still alive.
Yeah.
We couldn't do the concert, but a friend of mine, Jamie, his band, the 3410s, did the concert. We were able to sit downstairs it was called Upstairs at Nick's Roast Beef. So we were able to sit downstairs, and I sat opposite John Entwistle and watched him eat a roast beef sandwich. And it was one of the most, for me, him sitting there in like a shark skin suit, looking at absolutely $1 million, and proper English gentleman. And like, that was incredible for me.
Yeah.
Later, I was told by my buddy Jamie, who was in the support band, that he was a complete arsehole on stage and was yelling at everyone and stuff like that. So be careful who you want to meet, you know what I mean, heroes. I think they're best kept in that sort of zone where you imagine what they are, and left like that. I think it's best left.
Or be careful of men eating roast beef rolls in shark skin suits.
True. Although if I had the money for a shark skin suit, I'd do like a roast beef sandwich. So like, you might find me eating a roast beef sandwich in a shark skin suit.
All right. Okay. Question 6. You're doing well. What is the stupidest thing you've done because someone dared you?
Stupidest thing I've done? Well, that's a tough one.
What, because there's so many, or there's not enough?
I'm not necessarily, I don't get dared that often, because I think that people who know me kind of realize I'm kind of almost up for anything that isn't fucking completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have I been told by someone? Well, I remember playing a concert one night. This is many years ago, in maybe the late 80s. Could be the late 80s or the very early 90s, at the old Manly Vale Hotel, when it was Bryant's upstairs, not downstairs. And we were doing a sound check. This was at Asteroid B612, very early days. We were doing a sound check, and the sound guy and the owner came over and said, if you're going to play at that volume, you're not going to play at all. And I want to say Bullet, the singer, sort of sauntered over towards me and said, just turn it up a little bit more and see how they go then. So I turned it up a little bit more, and the next minute the power was shut down and amplifiers were being, taken off stage, not by me, by bouncers and security guards and stuff like that. So I guess that was kind of a dare.
Yeah, I like that. Rock and roll.
I've had my amplifier thrown down the stairs a couple of times, actually, at venues in Sydney.
Really?
For not cooperating with what I thought were pretty unrealistic rules.
Not at the Iron Duke, ever.
Not at the Iron Duke. There was no stairs at the Iron Duke. That's
right.
One of the beautiful things about the place.
All right, last question. You're doing well. You're on 11 minutes. So 7 minutes max is out the window. All right. If you were at a wild party and everyone was naked, who would you hate to show up?
And they would have to be naked as well?
Indeed. Who don't you want to see naked, basically?
Yeah, who don't I want to see naked?
I've asked this question a couple of times and I always get the same answer: Donald Trump. I
think I've seen enough silly shit on the internet of him naked, or people's impressions of him naked that I'd never be surprised by what it is. Who wouldn't I want to see naked? I'm not sure I'd want my mum to turn up and be trotting around naked. Like, I love my mum to death, and she's not an old lady, you know what I mean? She's hanging in there, but like, I just wouldn't want everyone else to be seeing my mum naked or something like that.
I'm the same. I wouldn't want my mother turning up either.
Anyone else who wants to turn up naked's okay with me.
Okay, all right. So no, all right, mate. That's 7 minutes now. Because I like you so much, I'm going to ask you a bonus question from Series 1. Here's a bonus question for you. You're in LA. You're down a side street. Nobody's around. And you see on the side a duffel bag, a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. And inside there's $1 million cash. Nobody's around. Nobody's going to claim it. What do?
I pick the fucker up. I take it home. I give 800,000 to my sister because I know it'll be there if I need it. And I keep the other 200 and keep rolling.
I love it. I love it how you give her so much money. I've got to make sure she sees this. It's brilliant. Brilliant. All right, mate. Thank you so much, Johnny Casino. We've got Trouble Weighs a Ton out now. We've got at the end of August. Is it the 21st of August? We've got Vibrations coming out.
21st of August.
21st of August. We've got the album coming out, which is fantastic. You've got some vinyl for sale. We've got CDs. It's on the all digital platforms. Mate, absolute honor and pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much, buddy.
Pleasure is all mine. Thanks very much, buddy.
See you soon, pal.